Yo, and welcome back to Dan Escapes. I hope you're all doing very well. Today we have a new bike to look at, and it's the Trek Checkpoint SL. In this episode, I'm going to go over the changes they've made to this frame, what updates I really like, and also how it compares to my old one, and will I be upgrading to this one. Also, I'll be mentioning about the new Checkmate, which is the race version of the Checkpoint. So the biggest change they made with this frame is the geometry. It's now a gravel endurance, and the new Checkmate will be the gravel race. So that will be similar to the Madone kind of positioning, and this one will be more like the Damani. I think that was the big issue with the older frame. It was very long. So for me, I measured out as a 54, and I ride a 54 in their road bikes. But when it came to the Checkpoint, I could have easily got away with a 52. I went with a 54, and I had to shorten the stem to make it a bit more comfortable for me. So it's nice that they've shortened it and also made the head tube a bit higher so it feels a bit more relaxed. Also, they have changed the sizing. So similar to the Madone, they've now got extra small, small, medium, medium large, large, and extra large. Because I measure out on a 54, I'll definitely be riding a medium. And that's the thing with this bike. It's designed to be an adventure bike. It's not a race bike. That's why they created the Checkmate and kept this more like an adventure one with all the bolts and all the mounting points that you get with the Checkpoint SL originally. So a great upgrade for this Checkpoint SL frame is it now has tire clearance for up to 50 millimeters. So it means it's going to be super comfortable on those rough trails. And also you can now put a suspension fork with 40 mils of travel, which is quite handy, but it's also a contentious subject for me because I'm thinking, well, you might as well just run a cross-country mountain bike with drop handlebars, which Finstey was doing on his Super Caliber at Leadville 100. But if you are running the extra small frame, you cannot run a suspension fork in there, unfortunately. Also, while we're up front, I'd like to mention that they've made changes to the way the headset is and the steering column here. So you can route the new RSL bars on this bike if you wanted to. So it has the same mounting points as the Madone. So it means you can run those fun one-piece carbon cockpit if you really wanted to, which, to be honest, if I did get this frame, would be an upgrade I would look at doing, especially as all the models come with wireless shifting, and I'll get into the different models later on. But it's super nice because I know when I've tried to route cables in the old Checkpoint, so on my one, it was super fiddly, it was super annoying, and looking at this system, it looks like it's going to be nice and easy to do that if you need to change the group set or change the brakes, for instance. So coming back to the ISO speed, we still have this in this version. The bushings look a bit different. So these aren't running bearings in it, it's got bushings. I never had an issue with my Checkpoint SL, and I know other people who've had the Checkpoint have similarly not had any problems. But, you know, they do look bigger compared to the old ones. Also, I like the fact that they've kept the round seat post, so it means you can put a dropper post in there. So coming on to the main triangle of this bike, it still has all the old mounting points that you have, so similar to the old Checkpoint SL, and they have a new bag. I'm going to go into those a bit later of what system it is, but it means that, you know, you can screw these bags right in there so you're not having to strap anything to the bike. Also, they've updated the hatch, so you still have this area where you can store like a flat kit, spare inner tubes, but they've removed the tool holder. So there used to be a little bit on there that integrated tool could go into. They've now got rid of that. Means you've got ample space in here to fit an inner tube, and I knew that was always my struggle. When I tried to get an inner tube in there, I had to kind of pack it really well so that I could get that tool bit in there. Also, they've updated the bag, bits bag in there, so it means you can put all your loose stuff in there and it's not going to go flying around or rattling about. So that's quite nice. You could probably fit, you know, a cartridge, a pump in there, and a few other things. And you've still got space down here as well, so you could probably get another bits bag and pop it down there if you wanted to as well. So you could run two of those inside. One thing I did notice, it does look thinner on the frames, like here, but it's super wide on top. So I measured it with my Checkpoint, and it is very wide compared to it. So it's probably like a centimeter wide on both the top and the bottom. Also down below on the bottom bracket area, it's not as, you know, big compared to the old one. I know when I rode with some people, they were like, oh, have you got a motor in there? Because it was very bulky around this area. So now it looks nice and slimmed down, which is quite cool. Also, it's got a nice rubber bash guard underneath here, so it protects the frame from any rock strikes. But also what they have updated is added a rubber guard on the chain stays. So it means any chain slap hitting there is not going to ruin the carbon frame. Because I know on the previous one, it was just tape, like a clear film on top. But now this is a full solid rubber guard, which has been taken from what they do on their mountain bikes. Again here, same old construction, looks a bit thinner here, but again, wider. But you know, it allows for that wide tire clearance. And you still have mudguard mounts. So if you did want to put full mudguards, you can put that on. But I think it is only up to 45mm tire clearance. Now, probably one of the biggest upgrades to this bike, and why probably a lot of people might change to this frame set or upgrade to this over the old one, is it has a universal derailleur hanger. So we're seeing Trek do that a lot with all their bikes. It started with the Domani AL version that came with a UDH, then the new Madone, that's now got a UDH, and now this has a UDH. Same with the Checkmate, that also has the UDH. And it's on all their mountain bikes, so full sus, their hardtail mountain bikes, those all come with a UDH. So it means if you have various bikes, so for me, I'd have a mountain bike, I'd have the gravel bike and the road bike, and they all had UDH. It means they all share the same derailleur hanger, which is very handy, and also means you can mount the SRAM transmission to here. And this would be the biggest upgrade that I do, because all these bikes come with SRAM axis. I'd immediately slap a GX transmission derailleur, or maybe one of the top end ones, depending on what you can afford, and have that massive dinner plate cassette on the back. Or if you wanted to, and you have the money, get the new SRAM Explore Groupset, which has the transmission bolt-on system, and you can have a very light Groupset on this bike with 13 speed. Also, I forgot to mention, because all these bikes come one by, on my bike, on the old frame, it had a built-in derailleur hanger for the front mech. Now it has two screw holes here. So if you did want to run, you know, a front derailleur, so for instance, the new Shimano Di2, then you can bolt on a derailleur hanger here and it will fit in there. So you can run a 2x setup if you really wanted to, but it's quite nice that they got rid of it. So it looks all clean. Also, you still have the chain guard here. So it means that if the chain just jump off, it's not going to smash into the frame. It's caught there. Great feature with this bike, and it also comes on the Domani AL and the Madone because of that new UDH dropout and having different through axles, is it comes with this nice tool which magnetizes inside the through axle in the rear, or you can potentially do it in the front. But it has a 6mm Allen key here, and then further up it has a 4mm, so you can adjust the saddle height if you need to without having to carry a tool nearby, or you can bolt on a bottle cage, etc. So it's quite handy that it's got a 4mm and 6mm, and I think that is such a great innovation from Trek, and I like that it's now coming on most of the bikes. Okay, before I talk about the different levels you can buy the Checkpoint SL in, I'm going to mention that you can upgrade the brakes to 180mm rotors if you'd like to. So if you want more braking power on those steep technical descents, then it's great that they have allowed you to do that. So the Checkpoint SL comes in 3 levels, the SL5, SL6 and SL7. With the SL5, you're going to get SRAM Apex Explore Access. So it's their 1x gravel group set, and it's going to be completely wireless. And also you're going to be getting entry-level aluminium wheels. The SL6, which is the version I have here with me now, you're going to get SRAM Rival Explore Access. And then also you're going to get upgraded aluminium wheels. So they're slightly lighter and also have a rapid drive engagement hub in there, which means it sounds pretty nice when you're freewheeling. And also you've got more engagement points, which will help when you're going up steep technical ascents. When you go up to the SL7, you're going to get Elite 35V gravel carbon wheels. So it's the entry-level carbon wheels. Then you're going to get SRAM Force Explore Access, so upgrade to this version. And then also you're going to get the new Bontrager Pro gravel bars, which is a carbon handlebar, and it's got a nice 6° of flare. And as for upgrading to this bike, it's something that I'm worth considering. If you want wider tire clearance, being able to use transmission, having a UDH derailleur hanger, then I think it's definitely worth it. And I think those are the two big key features that really stand out to me. If you're not too bothered about that, then to be honest, you're going to be fine with the old Checkpoint as long as you're happy with the geometry. But yeah, if you're going to be buying this bike, then it's definitely going to feel a lot more comfortable. Whether I want to go to the Checkmate, I'd like to think I'm a gravel racer. But for me, I like that versatility of being able to run 50mm tires in here, put a rack on there if I want to do some long touring or adventure bikepacking, having the mounting points on the forks up front. So it means that this bike is totally spec'd out to do, you know, some really serious off-road if you wanted it to. So I mentioned earlier that you've got all these mounting points, and with the release of this bike, Trek have announced some new bags to go with it. So you can either get a full-length frame bag, which bolts on super nice, and it comes with all the screws, so you don't have to strap anything to the frame. You can just screw it underneath and screw it to here, and it sits seamlessly within the frame. If I pop it in here, this is what it looks like. It looks super nice, and it means you can carry some extra bits on like small rides. They also have a smaller triangle bag to go up front, so if you just need to carry a few bits, some extra tools, or like some food, maybe some swim shorts and a packable towel, then you can put that in there as well. So it's quite handy that these bikes, you've got different options. So the only thing I think is a letdown of this is they're not fully waterproof. They're pretty rigid though, so they hold their shape, which is quite nice. But yeah, if they were fully waterproof, then that would be a game changer, and I'd really like that. But yeah, it's still nice to have that feature. You know, you've got little pockets here to store quick items, maybe like some gels. I wouldn't keep your phone in there just in case it jumps out. I wanted to quickly touch upon the Checkmate. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get hold of one before the launch. I was only blessed with the SL6. I'd just go through a few stats with that. Obviously, it's designed for racing, so it's only got tire clearance for up to 45mm tires. It comes with the one-piece RSL bars that come on the new Madone if you get the SLR version. It's also got OCLV 800 compared to the Checkpoint SL, which only has OCLV 500. With the ISO speed system, from what I can see and have looked up online, and use the service manual, it's the same ISO speed that comes in the Trek Domani. So a lot of gravel racers were using the Domani as a racing bike. It only comes in two specs, so you're gonna get the SLR 7 and the SLR 9. SLR 9 will get you the new SRAM Red 13-speed Explore Access group set, which looks super nice, and the shifting is really great. So I really wanted to get hold of one just so I could try that group set out. You do lose all the mounting points, although it does have mounting points for that small triangle bag up front, and also a mounting points on the top tube. So you can have a top tube bag up there. But also it comes in Project One, so you can change all the colors and have fun playing around with that. And it means that with no extra cost, you can change your crank length, your cassette range, also bar width, stem length, etc. So it's pretty neat that you can do all that. So my thoughts on the new Checkpoint SL, I really like what they've done. And if you were thinking of getting a gravel bike, it is definitely one to look at. I think having all those different options that you can spec this up with makes it such a great versatile bike. I have thought about whether I need a Checkmate, and you know, I've never raced gravel. Don't plan to. I'd like doing gravel events, but I don't do it for time. I do it for fun. Depends if you're racing with elite people, then I think that's where you've got to start considering the Checkmate. But for me, I like having that option that I can strap stuff to this bike, fully load it up if I wanted to, put wider tires, make it very comfortable. And I very much like the update in geometry to make it a lot more endurance based. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are. Would you upgrade to this if you have the Checkpoint SL, or do these new specs really appeal to you as a gravel bike, or coming from a different brand and looking at the new Checkpoint? Has that made you think, oh, maybe I'd get one of these? Especially with the SL5 version coming with SRAM access already. So it means that, you know, you've already got wireless shifting, but I know a lot of people are still skeptical. And to be honest, I haven't tried that Groupset out, so I'm not sure how it feels. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Also, let me know what you think of the new Checkmate and the new SRAM Red Explore 13-speed wireless Groupset. I know that's going to be a big change, and maybe we're going to be seeing mountain bike derailleurs having 13 speed as well. So, you know, it's going to be very interesting as the years to come. But yeah, that's it for today's episode. If you enjoyed it, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, as it helps a lot and I appreciate it so much. Hope you're all staying safe, staying positive, having fun. And I shall see you in the next one. Let's get through these bikes. Boom.